Yeah, I can hear you fine. Are you broadcasting?
I am now.
Awesome. Hey everybody, CC Rooster here of the Ordinary Gamer, along with the always wonderful Ender the Foe, or Foe Ender as you'll know him on PSN. Today we're going to be playing Destiny a bit. We're kind of Destiny noobs, Destiny nerds, Ender especially. Kind of quiet right now, it's very early. I know it is way too early. I'm on my third cup of coffee, and I still want to go back to bed. And big news today in the Destiny world, Xur is back. You can find the video for his location if you look for us on YouTube. Xur's location via the Ordinary Gamer. Ender is always up early for today to go do that. And then of course he wakes me up, he texts me like 100 times. He's like, hey man, Xur, he's over here. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to sleep.
The Gallahorn upgrade.
Yeah, it's like, he got a new Gallahorn. You can get whatever you want. And I'm like, that's fine. I only have 2 strange coins. I don't want to do my other character, and I want to go back to bed. But it never fails. I'm already up, and now I'm on Destiny with Ender. So that's going to be our Let's Play today. Big news, Ender. Resident Evil HD. You excited?
Yeah, I mean, it's been... What is that now? 15 years since I played.
Oh my lord, old man.
So I figured it was time to, brush it off and see if I could still remember how to even get through that. Remember all the puzzles and all that. I think it'll be fun. We should do a Let's Play.
We should do it. Like, I'm thinking about getting it. It's only $19.99 on the digital download on the PSN store. And I looked at it, and at first I was kind of, you know how I am about like remakes and making me spend twice for games I've owned 4 times. Because I had Resident Evil, I think the other remake they had, I think it was on the GameCube, was the last time I played it. And then my GameCube was stolen, and so I never really got to beat it again. And but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to 1999. We should totally play. And
yeah.
I think I'm really excited because I just want to see the zombie reveal. Like, when you first walk through the diner and you walk to that first room, and there's that zombie just chowing down on a man's face. And those are good memories. Those are the memories of my childhood as a man getting his face like chowed down by a guy who you're not sure if he's on bath salts or if he's a zombie. And it's like that was one of my favorite moments. That's why I am looking forward to that.
That was pre-bath salts.
It was pre-bath salts. So yeah. Resident Evil HD also tells the future apparently. So you would totally want to get it if you want to get your fortune read. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, like these new guys that didn't really grow up around that whole real survival horror kind of games like The Evil Within that you played, or Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4,
7, 9.
It's yeah, it's a good experience. To learn how to play survival horror games like that. The ones that I've seen lately, like Outlast, are they're cool games, but
the only way to destroy the sword is to kill its
it's just survival horror without guns, weapons. I guess I don't know. It's not the same thing.
It's more like hide and seek in a way. It's like Alien Isolation is bringing it back. Speaking of which, Alien Isolation surpassed the 1 million sales mark, and that's not just like shipped to retailer. That's actual people, consumers who have bought the game, which it completely exceeded expectations of that game. Which is really just a glorified hide and seek game that I won't lie, I played because I guess I'm old now and I can't actually hide in a closet because my friends and family will think I'm weird. So I just get online to do it. I hide under tables.
Site is up ahead.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's good for the young people to remember Resident Evil in all its glory.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a good point that you brought up about it being more like hide and go seek. It reminds me, it's like a very good haunted house without a weapon. If you don't have weapons or anything like that,
yeah,
that's what it's like. Just a really good haunted house.
In a more interactive haunted house, and you don't have to worry about the crying children or like the weird like old couple who are like breathing heavy. Like, I've been to a couple haunted houses, and it's kind of creepy. Like, the creepiest thing is actually not the monsters themselves, it's the people that are in there with me, because I wonder which one of them is just going to collapse at any moment, and I'm going to have to carry them out and try to find somebody to, get help. They're just going to get scared. But, that's neither here nor there. I guess that really has nothing to do with Resident Evil.
I was just wondering which one of them is going to grab my ass in the dark,
Oh, I actually hope for that. Like, no, you know, I don't have much of an ass, but when somebody grabs it, it's usually like a good day for EC Rooster. I can just tell you that. But yeah, the PlayStation Resident Evil HD. It looks. I mean, $20 to me just seems like an affordable. Like, I was worried because I thought they were gonna charge me like 50, and I was gonna be like, I don't care for $50.
Yeah, 50
you know,
would have been ridiculous for a game that old. I don't care how much.
it's like you know, it's a classic, but you know, I can, you know, you don't overcharge for classics, do you? Or is that will that be the new rule? Obviously not.
You want people to play it.
That's true.
You want people to play it. You don't charge that much.
It's like, oh, like I can imagine they remake, like not remaking, but mastering the first Tomb Raider. It's like, hey, do you guys want to not be able to control your character that well? $60. Like, nah, I don't think I want to. I think I want to, you know, drive a tank that's shaped as a woman for a while. That was really sick.
You know, do you remember the way you move your character in the original Resident Evil? I did read that they changed the way that you do that. They basically dumbed it down. You know, up was always forward, down was always backward, left was always the character's left, right was always the character's right. Yeah. Now it's like, you know, left moves you left on the screen, right moves you right on the screen.
Oh, so they upgraded the controls a bit. I mean, that's cool. Yeah. But I kind of, actually, in a way, I kind of wish they didn't, because I want kids to suffer the way I had to suffer when games first came out. Like, I'm a sadist, and you know.
That was an adjustment. Once I got used to it, it was comfortable.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it more because when you'd walk in. Sorry, go ahead, man.
Well, now I'm worried more about playing it this way because what if it doesn't make sense to me, you know?
Yeah. Like, I kind of enjoyed. I thought, you know, I think clunky controls are just another way to heighten the horror of a game, because there's nothing more frustrating when you walk into a pre-rendered room and you go, holy crap, you know, there's a zombie and I'm running into him and I don't know why. Like, I can't figure out why I keep running backwards. And next thing you know, you're dead, and you get frustrated. You turn the game off. You think you wasted $20. You go to bed. You wake up really early because Ender calls you. You have a bowl of cereal, and you play it again. And next thing you know, you're really enjoying the game because, like, it's just maybe clunky controls are a great way for survival horror to be more survival horror-y, if I could say that.
Maybe that's all intended. It's all part of it.
And that's something that brings me, you mentioned Evil Within earlier, that's something I'd love to talk about. Mainly just, you know, have a spiel about for a quick second, is that people complain about the controls because, you know, every step on the character is a little heavier, so like when you step forward, you know, you're really getting his first step. It's not as smooth as, say, like Destiny or a lot of these other games. And I thought it was great because it just made you, you know, more scared with what's going on around you. There's just so many things, and you're like, I can't run, I can't move as well as I want to, I bump into things. It's like the game's way of saying, haha, life is scary. You know, things are closer and closer and closer. But I just thought it was really cool. But enough about Resident Evil HD, even though I am thinking about getting it. I think it's going to be pretty good. It reminds me, though, being of old games, it reminds me of PlayStation Now, actually. The new PlayStation Now service is live. What do you think about that, Ender?
That's just too expensive. I mean, I guess it's nice for those guys that didn't have a PS3 and they want to experience certain games, you know, certain big PS3 games. But guess what? They're all getting remastered anyway. You know, all the games that I would say, that is a game that you need to play on PS3. It's going to get remastered, so there's not really much point.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah,
they're gonna do a trilogy on Uncharted. They're gonna redo Beyond Two Souls. And Beyond Two Souls and The Last of Us were two games that they were actually initially saying this is what makes PlayStation Now good. You can play these games, and then they remastered The Last of Us, and they're planning on remastering Beyond Two Souls. So.
And I'm imagining the PlayStation Now stuff isn't going to be remastered, is it, or will it? Do you know?
No, they're not going to release it on PlayStation Now if they have a remastered version for the PlayStation 4. They'll just be taking money out of their own pockets.
Huh. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. The idea of PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now is it's a good idea, but I think they're overanalyzing what it's worth. Maybe they're just trying to find what people are willing to pay. But I can tell you that $20 a month That's not what people are going to be willing to play for. To play old, last generation games with lag and everything. As much as I say, you know, they're real good, I've tried it some, you know, during the beta, and unless I've improved it quite a bit, there's lag. You can't play a game like Call of Duty online, or even Destiny online with that. It's not a steady enough experience like for a Twitch stream.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't played the beta. All I've looked into it is that it's really expensive, and part of me wanted to buy it just so I could, like, not so much because I think it's worth the $44 for 3 months or the $20 a month that they're, like, asking for it. It's more so I can rub it in my friend's face and I'm super rich. Like, I just wanted to kind of, like, say, hey, all those old guys used to make fun of me in high school. Look at me now. I'm pretending. It's kind of like flaunting a BMW. I feel like if I get PlayStation Now, it's like I'm cruising down the street in my brand new like BMW, and everyone's just like, "Oh my God, who's that guy?" And I'm like, yeah, "That's right, EC Rooster. He's really he's putting on a show." I mean, I'm not really rich, but I can really pretend, and you know, I could really like ham it up. Like, I'll just be playing like, "Yeah, look at me, I'm playing, you know, whatever. What's an old? I'm playing Resistance. Yeah, I'm rich." And everyone's like, "Yeah, we're gonna play the new game for cheaper." But it's true what you said. I didn't think about they're remastering everything. So what's the point of asking us to buy an unremastered? I don't know if that's really a word. Version of a game.
You're basically just renting it. You're not even buying it at that point.
That's true.
The moment you stop paying for PlayStation Now, you've lost that.
And it's like you're expecting. And also, I think you said, I think it might have been you the other day. It might have been Combe when he was on. Said something about you can just go buy a PlayStation 3, an old PlayStation 3, and then buy the games used at GameStop or, you know, a mom and pop store, hopefully, or online, and you can just, you know, play them again. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, for about the same price as you'll pay for a year's worth of PlayStation Now. I mean, probably less than a year's worth for PlayStation Now. I mean, what are they asking? $200 a year? Something about that. You know, something close to that.
Well, $20 $20 3 months at a time, but if you do it monthly, it would be
a lot. It'd be a lot.
Month would be $240.
$240. Yeah, you could just buy a PS3
yearly option. I think they knew that nobody would be willing to pay for a year at that price, so they don't offer an option.
I mean, I don't know what they're thinking, but they're a business.
What do you think they should have done?
What I think they should have done? They should have done more market research. They should have just said, "Hey, does anybody really want to buy this?" And at these numbers, like, you put out a questionnaire for gamers. Just make it something part of PS Plus, you know, where they ask the question, or make it actually part of PS Plus, the actual package. So instead of charging me $44 or whatever for 3 months of playing a game I'm probably not going to play, or that I can now learn that I can get remastered. We should have just put it as part of the PS Plus service, or maybe had 2 tiers of PS Plus service. And this is something I'm a big proponent of. You can find my article about it on the Ordinary Gamer, or my opinion on it. Is I just think that if you're gonna give something like this, you should tell people, hey, you can buy PS Plus for your regular yearly subscription, or you can get something like call it PS Platinum, and you'll tack on $25 to the yearly fee. And so now instead of paying, you know, $50 for a year, you're paying $75 for a year, but you get the subscription service of PS Now. You get the usual PS Plus perks. You still get the discounts. You still get the free games. Like, I would rather do that, but what do I know? I'm only a consumer who's actually really with the money that they want.
I agree. I mean, if they did it that way, I would be willing to pay, you know, PlayStation Plus, what is it, $50 a year?
Something like that, yeah.
I would be willing to pay $100 for the year.
$100?
Yeah, they came with PlayStation Now. That's a good price. What is that, $4 a month for PlayStation Now? That's the kind of price they need to have. Maybe $5 a month. That's it. I wouldn't. It's like Netflix. You know, you pay for Netflix every month, and sometimes you watch one thing on there, sometimes you watch a lot on there, sometimes you don't watch anything on there. But you pay for it because it's affordable. That's what they need to realize is, you know, everybody will buy it. Everybody with a PlayStation 4 will get it with their PlayStation Plus if it's affordable. And then that way they'll make money off of it. If the people that buy it are the ones that are planning to use it a lot, then they're not going to make any money off it.
Yeah, I don't see them making any money off of it, honestly, because I don't see anyone buying it except Richie Rich. He's the only guy who I think would really give a crap about this wonderful service that they're trying to offer. Which I actually think the service itself is not a bad idea, like you mentioned. I think a streaming service for games that gives you PlayStation titles, or, you know, any third parties that they can get, like, latched on, that just seems like it's only going to benefit gamers, especially some of us who may be looking for the more obscure game. You know, we had that one friend who always talks about that one obscure game that we're always like, dude, we don't care, we want to play Call of Duty. And he's like, no, you need to go play, you know, this Japanese game, you know, blah, 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 blah. And finally, maybe through the service, they'll put it online, and then we can all be jerks about our knowledge of games, and we can eliminate obscurity, and we can put it in the face of those guys, those snarky guys who just want to rub it in your face and they know something you don't. That's my goal with.
We can all be hipsters.
Yeah, we can all be gaming hipsters with our PS Now, you know, service. Though technically, I guess, you know, you could be a hipster now if you're willing to go spend $50, and you could get PS Now before it was cool, you know. Which I don't think that'll ever be cool though. So, but that reminds me of a. Sorry, go ahead, man.
I think it'd be decent, but it's never going to be what they want it to be.
Not at that price. Not at that price. It's the cost of that. Like, I completely agree with you. I think we've taken the same side here, which is not good. That usually means that I'm doing something wrong if I'm agreeing with Ender. So I'll have to go back and logically approach this later. But speaking of PlayStation and their wonderful desire to save you money, they're giving everybody now the 10% discount for when their servers were down. They're giving all the PlayStation Plus members a 10% discount to use in the PS Store. And when it first came out for the first 2 days, I remember I was reading comment after comment. Everyone was like, "Can I use it on pre-orders? Can I use it on pre-orders?" And they were like, "Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course, of course, of course." And I thought, "Oh, great! You know, that's going to be awesome because I'll just go ahead and get me some games too."
Shu was on Twitter and I think on a video, I think it was one. But Shu Yoshida, the president of Sony PlayStation, was saying this is your chance to get your pre-order in. You know, pre-order every game that you want to pre-order for the year. This is your chance to get the order. What's that other game that you want to get a lot?
Evolve, The Order, Division coming out this year.
Yeah, he said this is your chance. Pre-order everything, get 10% off on it. So it sounded like a decent plan if you could pre-order them on there.
And then lo and behold,
find the controls.
They just completely pulled the rug out from under us though, and now they say you cannot use the 10% on pre-orders. Unless that news has changed. I mean, last I read...
When the president of the company says, you know, this is your chance to do this, and then they say, well, you can't do that. You know?
I'm just trying to think,
like everybody's on the same page.
What are they thinking? Because, yeah, you're going to lose 10% on each purchase, but you're probably going to increase the amount of pre-sales people can get, because they were excited. I noticed when I was reading about it, that was every comment. Everybody was like, can I do this on pre-orders? Can I do this on pre-orders? That was the only thing people were asking, which made me think, hey, you're actually going to increase your sales because, you know, people are going to like probably pre-order more games than they would have. Now that kid who's going to get one game, or that guy who, you know, got home from work and he was like, I think I'll just get Resident Evil, he's going to pre-order, you know, 2 more games because he feels like, well, 10%, it's limited time. I mean, I don't think Sony's full of fools, but I'm starting to wonder, you know, with the PS Now being overpriced and now, you know, completely taking away really the only reason you want the 10% discount anyways.
I think they've already won the console war, but I think that they're getting way too cocky with that, with having the lead, you know, in sales, and they're going to start making mistakes like that. And, you know, if Xbox has learned anything, it's that their customers pay attention, you know, to what they're doing. That's true. That's why initially people weren't pre-ordering Xboxes. They were people paying attention to them not having offline games, not letting you play games offline, play your console offline, not letting you trade your games in. People paid attention to that, and they weren't pre-ordering Xboxes, and Sony obviously benefited from that. But they didn't. It seems like they didn't really pay attention to the lesson there. Whereas Xbox definitely did. They took everything back and tried to fix everything they could to make people come back to them.
It makes me wonder, though. You know, you brought up a good point, though, when you're saying that Xbox is learning to pay attention. So maybe because everyone, and I'm generalizing here, but in my opinion, everyone hates Xbox now. It seems like. I mean, the numbers don't lie for themselves. I mean, Xbox has, I did a statistic yesterday. They have something like, I don't know, only like 28% of the actual console market. I mean, they are just like, they're down there with like Nintendo. Nintendo has like 25%. This was, of course, thanks to VSG charts, but I'll have to double check that figure. But it's like, you know, people don't want to buy it anymore. I mean, they just don't care. But maybe because Xbox is learning, like, well, hey, complaints and consumers, if they complain enough, that actually might make a better console because, you know, they'll heed our advice because they want our money. Do you think maybe people, you know, like you're saying, PlayStation now is just going to have to go through, you know, what I'll call a phase of, you know, you're too big for your britches, and then gamers are going to, like, make you realize, yeah, we love Uncharted, we love a lot of your content, we love Last of Us. I keep saying Naughty Dog games. I need to say some other games. You know, we love the games that you're providing, but at some point you're going to have to, like, you know, calm it down there. We're just not that rich. We're just not that, you know, you're just asking too much of us. So do you think, what I'm trying to say is, do you...
Things like, for me, things like taking back the initial idea of, hey, you can pre-order your goods, off on that. And then saying you can do that and then taking it back, I think is kind of a slap in the face to people that were excited about it. You know, that was the only reason really to be excited about 10%. I mean, 10% is not a lot if you're just buying Resident Evil Remaster. $2.
Yeah.
But when you're buying a $60 game, $6, you know, it adds up, especially if you're pre-ordering 2 or 3 games.
Well, they should have looked at it like a sale, because I think it would have been like, hey, 10% on all pre-orders sale, essentially. Which, you know, I just don't see anybody not jumping at that who truly has, I mean, of course has the money, but who are planning on pre-ordering a game anyways. This is only going to make you want to pre-order more than just one. Like, I doubt somebody's going to be like, oh, 10%, I'm just going to get that one game. They're going to be like, 10%, I'm going to get, like, every pre-order game I can. But, they might as well, but they'll deal with it. I mean, you know, best case scenario, they'll re-implement it because gamers will say, oh, come on, man. Or, you know, worst case scenario, we continue on with our lives and no one cares. And you're going to have to pay essentially full price for the game you wanted. Which you were probably going to do anyways, but now at the expense of your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to sneeze there. I very much apologize. But, you know, it seems like there's a good theme of money going on today. Now we're talking about PlayStation. They're, you know, taking away the 10% discount for pre-orders. Borderlands, one of our, I don't know about you, but it's one of my favorite games to play when I'm not playing my other favorite games. Does that make sense? It's like the game I like to put in when I go, I have nothing else to do. I think I'll play Borderlands. You know, I want to just go around, shoot things, and then, you know, listen to farts. So I'm like, I'll put in Borderlands. And they're having a new bundle, collector's edition, for $400 US. That's $400 US. It comes with a remote control claptrap. But the nifty thing about the remote control claptrap is it's not just like some old car that he kind of runs into a wall and your brother steps on. He has a video camera for an eye that you can actually watch and see through via a mobile phone app. Do you think this is worth the money? Also, do you think that's a good idea for perverts?
Good idea for perverts, not worth the money for the rest of us.
Why do you not think it's worth the money?
Because, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I like cool gadgets. I love electronics. I love cool gadgets. I always want to play with them. But something like that, it's something that, at $400 especially, it's going to end up sitting on my wall as a display. Because I'm not going to play with it too much because I don't want to break it. And you know, it's just that's gonna be my place. It'd be a cool thing to have for a lower price, to put on the wall with a bunch of other gaming gadgets and pre-orders and stuff like that. But $400 is too high of a price point for something that's gonna sit on my wall.
I mean, it also comes with I'm just thinking I might be able to sell this to you. It also comes with Borderlands 2 and Borderlands pre-sequel and all of the DLC. It's something called the Handsome Edition that doesn't ruffle your feathers either.
You know, Borderlands really wasn't my thing. I tried 1 and 2, and it just didn't really speak to me. And granted, I will say that like it seems like a very good co-op game. When I tried it, I was playing it by myself, so that might have made a big difference in my decision. But yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea.
I mean, to me, I think if you're a hardcore Borderlands fan, I mean, there's only like I think something like 1,500 or 2,500 of these special editions going to be made worldwide. So they're going to be very limited, very collector. So I imagine there's still a market out there for the people who buy the Todd McFarlane action figures, the people who buy, you know, anything that's toyetic. They just go for it.
I'm sure they'll sell them. However many they make, I'm sure they'll sell those. You know, but it's just
I really don't know if it's worth 400 because I mean, but granted, it's limited, so that's just why you can push such a high price. I mean, that's the price of a console. I mean, I feel like they're kind of almost giving the middle finger to Xbox. Like I feel like they're like, hey, anybody who still doesn't want to buy Xbox One, you can buy a toy robot. And everyone's like, yeah, I'll totally buy the toy robot. Still don't want an Xbox One.
You know, that's actually it's $50 more than an Xbox One right now.
And yet it still seems like a better value in my mind because all I know is I want a robotic camera that I can totally do Porky stuff on. Like I can just go around into a dorm room, you know, and girls can be like, "Oh my God, it's a cute little claptrap," and I'll make him say his little one-liners, you know, and then I'll get like a bunch of naked women, and then I'll get sued and get kicked out of college. I don't recommend doing anything I just said to those of you who are willing to pay $400 for the claptrap. Though I do think it's cute, and I do think it's adorable, and I do think that you will get a lot of attention. Not necessarily positive attention, especially if you're a grown man riding around with your little toy RC car or robot. But, you know, to each their own. I'm not here to judge. I'm only here to make fun of you on the internet. So, but yeah, $400 is a little steep, but I guess because it's limited. And you do get the games, and I guess if you don't have the games, or if you just want to rub it in people's faces, that's what I think, you know, spending money usually is. It's not for any practical, you know, value. You're not buying food. You're just rubbing it in people's faces that you have a toy RC robot. But I don't know. That reminds, but that makes me think. Yeah, I get what you're saying about putting it on the wall. I mean, it is a collector. So at a certain point, at what point will you say, I'm not going to play with it at all? I paid $400 for this. I'd rather keep it in its box, I'd rather let the erode, and I'd rather resell it on eBay for $4,000. And, you know, like, I mean, it depends, I guess it depends on what you want to do, if you consider it some sort of investment. It's such a limited market, but it's such a limited supply as well, so I guess it's probably going to even out. You're probably right. But it's just a strange thing to do, like, to have such a limited number. I mean, are they looking to profit from this at all, or is it just a promotional gag? Like, you know.
I think they really, it's both. You know, people wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't $400. The only people that'd be talking about it would be the ones that really genuinely wanted to get it. But here, everybody's talking about it. It's like $400. Can you believe this? You know, the guy with the glowing cloak right there. He did Crota's hard raid. That's how you get it.
Well, look at him. It looks like he's going to a rave. So I guess if you beat Crota on hard, you get to go to a rave. I think that's the. That's just one. Come here, let us bow to you. For those of you who are only listening and not watching, there is a warlock who has a cloak, and it looks like it looks like a rave. It looks like a glow stick. It looks like a glow stick type material that you get from beating Crota's raid on hard, which was just released, by the way.
It's a shader. Let me clarify. It's a shader. It's not necessarily the cloak. You get a shader for it. Oh. So, you know, if you're a Titan, you can get it. I mean, I saw a picture of it on the Titan. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get it. Probably never will. The hard read, I don't know.
Yeah, any of you who don't know, we suck at video games. I don't know why we're actually talking about them or playing them. We rarely know what we're talking about. I'm kidding. Well, I barely know what I'm talking about. Ender's actually pretty knowledgeable. But we'll get back on topic here. $400 though. Do you think this is, I mean, is there any game out there that you would be willing to buy a plushie? Is that what they're called? A plush toy, a robot, anything for, basically. Anything out there you would be actually, because a lot of games are starting to do that, or they've been doing it for a while, but they'll do like these premium special editions that come with not just the game, but they come with, loads of other things, booklets, full color comics, t-shirts, cars, dogs, dolls, food. I mean, at what point do you buy any of that?
No, I was close to getting. I forget which one it was. One of the Call of Duty special editions or Hardened Edition, whatever it is. They came with the car with the camera on it. And I thought that'd be really cool. You can steer a car and it'd be like playing like a video game, but for real. Steer left and you look left. It's like a racing game. And I was really close to getting it. I had the money. I went over there to pick up the game, and I looked at it, and it was available. And then I looked at my money, and I was like, no, I'd rather keep my money. That always ends up happening to me. I'll save up the money for something that I want, and then when I go to get it, and I'm weighing my money on one hand and looking at that on the other, my money's gonna come out.
Picking up beacon signals all around.
I just start thinking about I can just buy the game for $60. Why am I doing this?
See, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I understand the limited market. I mean, by all means, I'm not a collector of anything except bad ideas. But I'm just not these types of guys or women who would just, like, buy a doll or buy a thing. But I do think that there are some games, though, believe it or not, that are worth the packaging. Like, Last of Us. If you could have an original day one release, if they, of some sort of special, like, action figure of Joel, to me, that's such a rare thing because it's such an event. Like, you didn't just buy an action figure; you bought a piece of like gaming history, in my mind. I think if the game has a sense of history about it, and some sort of special premium edition of it, it's not there to make more money. It's there because you really do want to commemorate that you were one of the few people who actually was there when games changed. That's how I kind of look at it. I mean, of course, Borderlands, I don't think has any of those qualities, but I do think Claptrap's pretty cool. But anyways, I think I would totally buy. I don't know where I'm going. I think I would totally buy anything that if it felt like gaming history. Like if I could have gotten the original Super Mario like stuffed Luigi when Luigi first appeared, like. Think about that today. If you had like an original from it would be a wonderful piece of history.
Mario's different, but I don't know where the price point would be. But like, there's I think GameStop here. They're selling this big, like plastic kind of oversized action figure Mario, and it was $50. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get that. And I didn't end up getting it that day, but I'm gonna go back and get that because I think that's really cool, and I actually want it. The problem with that, and just like with the Claptrap thing though, is I say I'm put it on my wall, but those of us that are married or live with a woman, she doesn't want to see Mario or Claptrap on her wall, But she's probably
why not?
Not a gamer, unless she's a gamer, unless you're one of the blessed few that married or got with a woman that likes to play, or a man that likes to play video games. You're gonna have to deal with it. That's just life. They don't want it on their walls. They don't. Time for a bounty on a bunch of play it on your downtime eventually.
So do you think that makes me wonder how many guys out there or girls who have like just a little cave, it's like their little evil secret spot where they're like, hey, I got another like action figure, and they just sit there all greasy like Gollum. They're just like sitting like Gollum in their little bedroom with their video game system. They're like, no one's gonna see my preciousness, and like they're just. It makes me wonder, but I guess that's another topic for another time. Though, if you are out there, anybody who listens to this, if you are one of these people who do have a little Gollum cave that you love to collect your Super Mario plushies, by all means, send us a picture at theordinarygamer.com, or actually you can email us theordinarygamer15@gmail.com, and we will totally post it on the site, and we may or may not make fun of it. May or may not make fun of it. I won't make fun of it. Ender's mean. He'll make fun of it. But
oh yeah, I mean that's the point, right?
I mean, why would you give us your personal secret cave, your treasure trove, you know, and expect us to be kind about it? Like, we're totally gonna not do that.
Had to ruin their day.
But yeah, I think if it's a gaming piece of history, but of course that comes down to the fact that how do you know if it's a gaming piece of history? You know, what makes a game feel historic?
That 20-year anniversary PS4. Will follow. I really wanted that thing. Did you see it?
No, I did not. Tell me about it.
It was gray, like the original PlayStation 1. It looked like it was a retro-looking PS4. I mean, they made it look like the colors of PlayStation 1, and the controller was gray. It was $500, but it came with the camera, it came with the controller, it came with the little head earpiece, and the PS4, obviously, the HDMI cable. It was all gray. It was all made in that retro gray color of the PS1. And it looked super cool.
Did it have the original PS logo as well, like the old P dominating the S rainbow thing they had?
I mean, it looked really sweet, I thought, but they only made. Let's see if I can not fuck this up. It was 12,300 of them.
That's a strange number.
Yeah, 12,300. So it was very limited edition, and if you were lucky enough to get it, you were pretty lucky. But after I found out about that, and I was like, man, I really wanted that. That'd be really cool. I'll try to get my hands on it. I found out one of them sold on eBay for 15 grand.
Wow.
I'm not paying 15 grand for one, but you know, of course, I was really like, I want that really bad. And then when I found out it was worth 15,000, I was like, oh shit, I would still sell that. If I bought it, it was worth 15 grand.
I want it so bad, but I would totally get rid of it for a certain amount of dollars. Like, my heart's not that much into it. Come on, let's not be crazy.
That's my number.
I mean, yeah, 15,000. I imagine whoever's selling that is totally getting the new modifications for his Dodge Dart. He's trying to make that thing look like the Batmobile. With $15,000, you can make your Dodge Dart look like the Batmobile, I imagine. And I think that's the only reason you would do that. I mean, $15,000. What else do you need it for? Not for bills or for living. You need it for a Batmobile modification for your car. Like, to me, like that would why I would do it. I mean, to me, that's the only rational thing a man can do with $15,000. But that's that's another story. But wow, $15,000 for a PlayStation 4 retro. I mean, the cool factor alone of that would make me kind of now would make me second guess $15,000. But I mean, when did this come out? I don't even remember this. Like, I'm so out of the loop.
It was gosh, I want to say maybe about a month and a half ago.
Oh wow! So I completely missed out, and now I'm totally got the fork out money.
They released them for Europe also. Like, I want to say the 12,300 was only for the United States, and then they released I don't know how many for Europe also. Where you had to live in Europe or England basically to
Okay, anyone on the scene up for some target practice? Sending details.
I am just amazed.
Altogether, my guess is there's maybe 24,000 of them out there. But when you look at how many they've sold, up to what is it, 18 million now PS4s? That's a really small drop in the bucket. Those are pretty collectible.
Yeah, very collectible. Yeah. I mean, I imagine very successful. I imagine there's no more left. I mean,
of course, they sold out in minutes.
I mean, they sold out to all of us old fogies out there who remember the PS1. Back when it was called just the PlayStation. Sorry, what was that?
That's a pretty smart marketing scheme to sell a quick 12,000 of them. They should have done like 120,000. That way they could have had more sales.
Yeah, but I mean, there must have been. I mean, those numbers just don't feel like arbitrary numbers. There must have been some reason. I mean, like 12,300 is a weird number.
I thought that seemed strange also, but I didn't come across anything that gave a reason for that specific number.
Maybe it was adding up to something. Maybe it's like if we totally get weird and do like a conspiracy theory, we'll sit in our rooms, we'll get on Google, and we'll find like the most obscure sites called PlayStation like conspiracy.com, and turns out the numbers equal up to a doomsday Mayan calendar, and next thing you know, we're predicting the end of the world. And then we're even though we're rich, we've lost our minds. So we have a PlayStation 1, you know, we can sell for $15,000, but now we sound crazy because we're pretty sure it was made for the end of the world in a Mayan calendar or something. I don't know what I just said. It'd be best if you just ignore it. I contributed nothing to the zeitgeist with that statement. But anyways,
I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna buy some gray spray paint. Get online, find that old PlayStation logo, and I'm gonna make my own retro PS4 and sell it for I'll take $7,000 for it, you know?
For what may or may not work, for what may or may be the worst idea.
I'm telling you, it seems pretty solid. I think I'm gonna try that.
Well, I mean, you could also just find a box. I mean, eBay is notorious for just boxes, so you know, expensive boxes. No. So you could totally.
I don't know. There probably is. I guess I say there's no way, but there probably is some idiot out there that would do that. If you have one of those, you do not throw away the box. Just in case you didn't know, you keep the damn box.
I'm imagining which kid there is. Like, I imagine some kid, you know, he's like, Daddy, I want a PlayStation, and Dad's like, all right. He just looks online and he sees the PS1 and he goes, oh, I remember those, and I guess that's what a PlayStation is, you know, because to him that's a PlayStation. And he buys this kid, you know, what's potentially a $15,000 PlayStation 1 collector's edition, and the kid, you know, of course, just like, I'm gonna customize, and they draw on it with Sharpies. And, you know, there's like glitter and there's like Yoshi stickers and Justin Bieber stickers just plastered across this collector's edition. You know there's some kid out there, and bless you, kid, because you're sticking it to the man. You're saying money is no object, money doesn't matter. You're living the dream of complete freedom.
Money doesn't matter to a kid, and it's not real. You know, it's just some shit that your parents give to people to get you the stuff you want. You know,
money's the thing you can buy at the dollar store in a plastic bag, and it's two-sided, and it says this is not legal tender. That's what money is.
Guardians.
Or bubbles. I think that's money. Children's currency is bubbles. At least if you ask most of the children I know. Any type of bubble, you know, from the mouth, from any other orifice. I think that's their currency.
That's money. That's gold.
So that reminds me of we're talking about bubbles. This has, you know, what's your game of the month? What would you say is the game you're excited for? And I don't mean January, because screw January. I'm done with January. I want it to end. But February, there's going to be a couple of games released, actually a lot, especially on PlayStation. What game are you most looking forward to the next month?
What is releasing? Everything that's releasing.
Well, I know there's Evolve, and of course The Order. And as far as I'm concerned, that's it. There's probably more. I know there's a lot of indies. There's a lot of little games. I don't have any numbers in front of me. I probably should have pulled this up. But big game releases in February 2015. Well, here, you ruminate on those two for a minute, and I will totally pull up game releases for February of 2015, and we'll go through this list.
I've heard a lot of good things about Evolve. I just out in the interwebs. I mean, I'm gonna get it. You seem excited to somebody to play with for sure.
I am super excited because I have no friends, and I feel like Evolve will totally solve that problem for me. But that's another story. But continue.
I mean, I think I'm right because I'm not going in there with any preconceived notions of what I want to get out of it. So I'm thinking I'll probably like it just because of that reason alone. Usually, you build up games so much that when you finally get them, it's almost impossible for them to live up to what you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm kind of lukewarm on it. We'll see what it's like when it comes out.
Well, I have a list in front of me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
I'm looking a lot more forward to getting The Order. It seems like it better have a pretty good, decent, or an existing single-player story experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty much the way they sold it since they announced it. So hopefully it has a decent story, a good story to follow, and that's all I'm really looking for out of that game is a good single-player experience.
See, I'm also looking forward to the Order. The Order 1886 is supposed to be released on February 20th. For those of you who don't know, I imagine it's not going to get pushed back at this point. I just don't see them like pushing it back for any reason now. So it's probably definitely going to be released. That game just reeks of intellectual property franchise. Like when I see that game, I see that's going to be a game. There's going to be like 4 of them. And it doesn't bother me. This is like one of the few times I've seen a game where I'm like, that's just going to be IP. I feel like there's going to be a lot of lore. I feel like the story's going to, not suck balls as much as I think it might. And it's also the first console release of the... Once again, I am just lacking on my knowledge today. The Order is made by, I want to say it's like Ready at Dawn Games, but I might be wrong. Yeah, it's Ready at Dawn. Wow, I'm right. Look at that. They're known for most of their Vita games. Actually, this is their first foray into the console game. And all I know is when I saw screenshots, when I saw gameplay, when I saw trailers, I may or may not had to have worn a bib. I was drooling so much. It just looks like such a, I hate the word, but it looks like a delicious game. But it just reeks of IP. Does that bother you? Do you think it'll be more than just one game? Do you think it will be a success at all?
I think it will. I mean, IPs for first-party studios, like a PlayStation studio, that's what you get these consoles for. Like that's what makes you decide between Xbox One or PS4. Things like Uncharted or Halo, So I think that's a good thing. If they can get a new IP and start it off and make it stick, I think that's a good thing.
I mean, it looks like a franchise to me, but it looks like one that I'll actually enjoy. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about hunting werewolves or lichens or, being a guy with a mustache and you have like Victorian outfits on, and you talk in a weird kind of half American, half British accent. Like that's like when I was a kid, my parents were like, "Do you want to be an astronaut or a doctor?" I said, "No, I want to be a guy with a half British, half English accent with a mustache who has a weird kind of machine gun that just kills werewolves." And then my parents looked at me and they said, "We're going to kick you out right now. We don't want to raise you anymore." But I proved them wrong. February 20th, the Order will be coming out, and I'm excited about that game. But I have the list in front of me, Ender. It's looks like there's a lot of games. Criminal Girls will be released, which I know you're looking forward to. Game of Thrones Episode 2, The Lost Lords. Suikoden 2. I'm so terrible with these names. Akiba's Trip, Hyperdimension, Neptunia Rebirth 2, Sisters Generation, Evolve, which we discussed, Minutes, Unmechanical Extended, Hyperdimension, Neptunia, Dead or Alive 5, Last Round, which, speaking of which, have they not run that game into the ground? I mean, why do people still buy those?
What's weird to me is, haven't they all been called Dead or Alive 5 for the last...
I think this is Dead or Alive 5, yeah. For the last 25.
10, but they just put a dash after the 5,
That's a strange... I never noticed that, but that's very true. Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dynasty Warriors 8, Empires, The Firefly Diary, Hyper Devotion Noir, Goddess Blackheart. I love the names of games. As I'm going through these games that I haven't really paid much attention to, I feel like it's not so much the game anymore. It's just the game is trying to pronounce the game. Like that's the game.
It sounds like you're naming off 80s cartoons.
Yeah, look, everybody, the new 80s cartoons, Hybrid Devotion, Noir, Goddess Blackheart, Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 1. My God, there are a lot of words. Under Night, In Birth.
What do you think about that? They made that the new Resident Evil, the actual new Resident Evil. They made it an episodic game.
I think that they're trying to milk me. I think that I'm walking around and they're going, "Hey, look at that guy's tits. Let's go squeeze on him."
Let's say if you buy all of the episodes and the cost adds up to the price of a regular game, $60. Do you think that's do you think that's still a good thing or a bad thing, or what do you think?
I think it depends on the game.
Technically, you could try the first part of the game, for let's say there's 4 parts, and for a quarter of the cost of the game, you could try the first part, and then if you liked it, you could buy the second part. If you don't like it, you can stop there. and you didn't pay $60 for a game you didn't like.
Is that not what demos are for? So what you're trying to tell me is that it seems like, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but what that appears to me is they're saying, hey, we're no longer going to release free demos of a game. We're just going to release the first episode of a game. You're going to pay us for the demo, essentially. And then then if you don't like it, haha, we have $10. We're going to go buy some smoothies. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. Like, I don't know if that's what they're trying to get at, but as soon as you said that, it sounds like they're trying to say, hey, we're just going to see which way we can, like I said, squeeze the tit of the gamer and just get some of that delicious milk, that delicious milk money, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't look at that as far as, like, I guess they could just get a demo, put a demo out there. But, I don't know. I kind of like the idea because, you can play it as much. They're putting themselves out there without trying to catch you for the full price of their product in case you don't like it.
But you still have to pay.
To me, that seems like a cocky thing to do. It seems like, oh, once you play this first part, you pay for the rest of it. You're gonna want to play the rest of it.
Something dark story.
Like, I imagine once you pay for it, you feel more invested. Like, I think it's actually a game of psychology. It's where you go, hey, you've already put $10 in, you might as well put the next $10 in. And also, it's better. It's almost like they're making larger chunks of microtransactions. Also, it sounds like they're saying, we're not going to give you a complete game anymore. We're going to give you the first part. We're going to charge you for it, and you're gonna feel like you're spending a lot of money. For an average gamer, you'd be like, well, $10 here and there, whatever. Next thing you know, though, you look at your receipt and you spend $145 on a game, and it just seems like another way to just milk more money. But once again, I don't know. It could be good. I mean, it could also be, maybe they're spending more time on the game, which I doubt. But
my guess is the game is done. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it.
Done enough. Yeah, I imagine it's like at the point where everything is pretty much there. Any little tweaks would just be, which they'll do anyways. I mean, games are being rushed so much, so they're always adding patches, always adding updates.
Revelations? Did you ever play Revelations, the first one?
No, I have not. I refuse. I don't really refuse. I just haven't.
That's not a game you're looking forward to at all, though.
Well, now I might be curious to. I think what I'll do is I'll watch a Let's Play on it. I'm sure there are a lot of wonderful guys out there, or girls who are on YouTube, who will do a Let's Play, and I'll look at it that way. And if it seems like something I'm willing to actually be a sucker for, then I'll do it. But you just can't convince me. Anything where you're breaking apart a game bothers me. It's just anything that breaks apart a video game, to me, it bothers me. It's like they're trying to make them some sort of interactive, like, comic book or something, where you're gonna spend $100, and next thing you know, in 5 years, not even 5 years, once the game is done, there's gonna be a whole bundle edition for half the price of what you spent, which will be the complete game.
We need to get through.
What did you think of the Walking Dead Telltale games?
I played the first one, not the first episode, but the first season. And I enjoyed it because it was a nice breather from punching people in the head and knifing people on their feet and they dying. Like, I played a lot of Call of Duty at the time, and it was a nice breather from what my normal way of gaming, which is I just want to put the game on, I don't want to think about it, and I want to just kind of run around in circles, which is what I'm doing right now, actually. That's what I like about games. But I did enjoy it. It was a nice break, and I was actually interested in the second season. But then Destiny came out, and you keep waking me up to play it, and now I just haven't played any other game since Destiny, it seems like. So, but yeah, what did you think?
Hang tight.
Well, as far as the whole episodic element goes, I didn't do that. I waited until the whole thing came out. I'll take that back. I tried the first part, and I liked it. The very first episode, I played it, I liked it, but I was like, I'm not gonna buy these all separately and wait so long in between. I'm just gonna wait till the whole thing comes out and buy the whole thing. And I did that, and you were right. As far as the price goes, it was a lot cheaper that way. I think I got episode 1 for all of $5 or $6, and I just bought episode 2 for. It was on sale on PlayStation for
I'm starting to sense
$12, I think.
Shouldn't be long.
So it was a lot cheaper to do that anyway, and I prefer to experience the story altogether. So
yeah, breaking it apart, expecting me to wait. I mean, I don't even do that with TV shows. I couldn't, like, I can't stand. Like, that's why I'm a Netflix TV show kind of guy, where it's like I can just watch them all in order.
Just marathon it.
Yeah, I'm a marathon gamer. I'm a marathon anything I do, except making love. I don't do that. That's usually one episode, and I'm done for like the couple months. one very poorly overpriced episode, and then I am done. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, I like it in chunks.
Yeah, I thought the game was good though. I thought it was all right.
The gate's opening.
I got the second season, so I guess I like it enough.
Yeah, I mean, it did its job. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it is bad. I just think that it's a nice breather. But sometimes you just don't want to run around and knife something. Like I think that's something these big AAA games is like. I just don't want to run around and knife something today. I want to play something so simple and wordy and emotional. And I want to put on a nice chocolate Thai latte, tea, and play a game where pretty much like I'm watching my soaps. That's what these games feel like to me, and I'm okay with that sometimes. Wearing a bathrobe and enjoying them. But yeah, the breaking apart of a game just seems like another way to milk money. But at the same time, maybe it makes them cheaper because you said you got like the whole season for like $12. So maybe they milk you first, and then once they have their quota, they say, okay, now just give it away essentially. And so maybe if you just hold out, you could think of it as a better investment, these episodic games. But I don't know. There's no real statistic to back me up. But anyways, to continue the last game of this month, I meant to tell you was Under Night and Birth and Dying Light, which has already been out for a while. Or not? Excuse me, not Dying Light. I'm thinking of another game. But what do you think about that? Are you looking forward to that? I know a lot of people seem to be wanting to play Dying Light.
I've heard that it's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm not really.
Surprise in a good way or a bad way?
A good way. And I haven't really come across. I don't know. It doesn't really. Everything I've seen on it, I thought it was okay. But
it reminds me way too much of Dead Island. The stuff I've seen of it. And the thing about Dead Island is I really kind of enjoyed the first one, but the second one just drove me insane. I don't know why. I didn't even finish it. I bought it. It was on sale on Xbox 360 at the time, and I bought it. And a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, let's play Dead Island again. I'm totally looking forward to hanging out with you." I'm like, "Yeah, we haven't talked in a while. Let's buy this game." And now we're not friends anymore because of that game. I can't stand Dead Island 2. And so, as weird as it sounds, Dead Island, which has nothing to do with Dying Light, has ruined me to Dying Light. So it's not Dying Light's fault. The game might be good. But Dead Island just makes me hate any game that has zombies, or any type of death in the title. Death, dead, dying. I immediately just avoid now because of Dead Island. So, but I imagine the game will be fun. I feel like it's going to be more fun for more of a casual gamer. Does that make sense? Like the stuff I've seen, it seems like somebody who's just like, hey, I just want to buy a game. I'm 14 or I just got off work, and it seems like that's the type of game you just pop in because you're just like. This is cool. This is what I want to do. But I don't know. A guy like me who's a total snark about games, I doubt I could, I doubt I'd get it. But really it's just because of Dead Island. But, we'll leave it on that. We'll leave the show on the note of death. Dead Island, dying, all of this stuff. I really appreciate Ender the Foe being here, who is the creator of TheOrdinaryGamer.com, which is where you can find the archive of this broadcast is where you can find all kinds of wonderfully opinionated articles. And thank you guys so much for checking out The Ordinary Gamers. The Ordinary Gamers, ordinary guys with extraordinary opinions. And Ender has something to say.
Let me add a quick. If anyone wants us to talk about anything specific on here, we do this every
Thursday.
We might do it extra from time to time. Feel free to follow us on Twitter and give us any suggestions you may want.
And the Twitter tag is Ender.
It is Ordinary Gamer 01.
Ordinary Gamer 01. You can find us on Twitter at Ordinary Gamer 01. TheOrdinaryGamer.com. You can find us on Twitch.tv/EC_Rooster, which is of course my wonderful name. And thank you guys so much. That is our hour for the day. We always do a Let's Play at night generally. You can always find us. You can always hang out with us. We're not just jerks who like to, pretend like we're doing a broadcast. We actually are gamers. You can come hang out with us. We love playing with people. We love hearing your opinions. Once again, thank you to Ender. Big thank you to me, of course. No one said thank you to me. I think it's important that I thank myself. And you guys have a good day of gaming, and you guys have a good night of gaming. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks, Ender.
know about?